Hey everybody, this is the weekly forecast commencing on Monday, March the 25th, 2024. And the day before, on Sunday, the 24th, was a full moon lunar eclipse. A lunar eclipse is a full moon on steroids, as I always like to say. Basically, it's going to mean that a regular full moon, even if it impacts your horoscope, you might be feeling emotional, moody, reactive for a day, maybe 2 days. But with a full moon lunar eclipse, if it hits a planet in your chart, you could be dealing with that energy with a lot of change. Lunar eclipses often about testing relationships or letting go of those things in your life, your job, your relationships, your home, that's no longer supporting you. But for most of us, this full moon lunar eclipse on Sunday the 24th, you will still be feeling this week a lot of this emotional moodiness. But there's no other negative, stressful planetary events going on. There's one really pleasurable or romantic, creative transit on Thursday. But before I break all this down each day, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. And if you go into the description box underneath the video, you'll find links to book an astrology reading or to sign up for my free daily message. All right, on Monday, the moon is still in Libra because the lunar eclipse was in Libra. There's no other planetary events going on. The moon is not making any good or difficult transits to other planets. So it's after an intense Sunday. This Monday could be more balanced, a little bit more harmonious with that moon in Libra. Certainly with the moon in Libra, you're seeking more cooperation, more win-win situations with other people. On Tuesday, the moon continues in Libra, but it's going to be in opposition or confrontation to communication Mercury. Now, Mercury is a rational planet, and the moon is emotional and subjective. So once a month, when the emotional moon is in confrontation, opposition with discerning Mercury, if it's like one party could be being overly emotional, the other party is like locking in to be really rational. It can be a difficult time for meetings, for communications, and this is around 4 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. And the moon is going void, of course. Talk about this every week. The moon will go void, of course, in Libra at 4:10 p.m. Pacific time into Wednesday at 2:04 a.m., at which point the moon goes into Scorpio. But when the moon is void, of course, it's changing signs, but it's no longer making any aspects to any planets while in that sign. So the energy is flat, it's unproductive. Just stay the course, stick to what you've been doing, but don't introduce anything important new because the energy is not there to support it. On Wednesday, with the moon in Scorpio, where the emotional reaction with Libra is more of this harmonious, cooperative, win-win situation. With Scorpio, it is this all, this nothing, very private, can be brooding, really intense energies. And the moon will be in a stressful angle to dark Pluto. Pluto is also the planet associated with Scorpio. This will be around 6 to 7 a.m. Pacific time. Could be some really intense emotional reactions. but it's only an hour or two. By 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific time, now that intense, compulsive moon in Scorpio will be in harmony with assertive, ambitious Mars. You're going to be feeling the general tone, more courage, initiating new projects. Emotionally, you're feeling more dynamic. On Thursday, the moon's continuing in Scorpio. Now, it's going to be in opposition, which is like confrontation with others, from 11 a.m. to noon Pacific time. But Jupiter is the great benefic energy. Jupiter is protective, it's lucky, it's optimistic. So you have these strong emotional needs, and with Scorpio, it is really all or nothing. But when you're interacting with others, when it's triggering the Jupiter, there may be some strong expectations to have more inflated expectations. It's like you have the bar too high. If you lower the bar, if you just be a little bit more grounded and realistic, what you're interacting with others, what others are offering you, could be nice, might be, very pleasurable. But if you're expecting something way over the top, you're going to have to pull back, and then you could be setting up your own disappointments. And this is, as I said, only like 11 to 12 noon Pacific time. But all day, Venus is in harmony with Uranus. Venus can represent relationships, finances, creativity, beauty. These are all the qualities that Venus can awaken. The Venus will be in harmony with progressive, innovative Uranus. Now, socially, Uranus represents friendships, also can represent group activities. So with that Venus in harmony with Uranus, you may be suddenly attracted or motivated to get involved with a social group or a creative group. You could be making a new friendship, but Venus is also the planet of love, and there could also be a sudden, unexpected infatuation. For artists, this is a really good day to be coming up with new original ideas. And since Venus is also about finances, it's also very favorable for new ways of making money, how you can increase your income in new ways. So it's a really good day, Thursday, financially, socially, creatively. Friday, the 29th, the moon continues in this intense Scorpio, but it's going to be in harmony with inspiring, empathetic, altruistic Neptune. When the emotional moon is in harmony with Neptune, there's more of this caring, this wanting to help those in need, can be very favorable creatively, but also could be a good time to trust your intuition, because that moon Neptune can be very psychic energy. Or could be a really good day to have a psychic reading or an astrology reading. And that moon Neptune, that charitable, compassionate energies, is from about 8 to 9 a.m. Pacific time. Then the moon in Scorpio goes void of course at 8:41 a.m. on Friday the 29th until 12:53 p.m., at which point the moon goes into Sagittarius. From Scorpio to Sagittarius couldn't be more black and white. Scorpio is dark, it's brooding, it wants privacy, it's all or nothing. Sagittarius, it's adventurous, it's playful, it's honest. It just wants to get out there and have a good time. After the moon goes into playful Sagittarius at 12:53 p.m. Pacific time, by 4 to 5 p.m. that Friday afternoon, the moon in Sag will be in harmony with Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto, when it's positive, can be really favorable for research, for investigation, for counseling, for having a real profound conversation. Saturday, the moon in adventurous traveling Sagittarius will be in harmony with the sun in fiery Aries. This is mid-morning Pacific time. When the moon is in harmony with the sun, it seems that everything is more effortless. It flows more easily, really favorable for relationships. You're just going to be feeling like you're more in the flow. But mid-afternoon for an hour or two, maybe 3-4 p.m. Pacific time, the moon is going to be inhibited by restricted Saturn. That could mean emotionally you're starting to feel really worried about something, or you're taking on some serious responsibilities. You could also be feeling more lonely or frustrated or isolated, but it only lasts an hour or two. And then it's, for most of you, it's not going to impact your Saturday night unless if you're more to the East Coast or into Europe. Whereas in Europe, you might be sleeping, but not necessarily on a Saturday night. But if you were stood up on a date, that could be very frustrating. Or going out with friends, loved one on a date, and it's just kind of heavy and frustrating. Again, this too shall pass. But for a lot of you, this is going to only happen mid-afternoon Pacific time. Sunday, the 31st, now the moon in adventurous Sagittarius will be in tension with Venus, the planet of harmony and desire, around 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific time. Now, moon and Venus, these are harmonious energies. The moon are these needs to connect more personally, more have a union. The problem is that because there's tension here, when it comes, you might not feel like you're really getting your needs met in a relationship. You have the strong desire, but it doesn't seem to be playing out. But it's all going to work out because later in the afternoon, Pacific time, that moon in optimistic Sagittarius will be in harmony with communication Mercury, 4-5 p.m. Pacific time. And that's when socializing, conversations, a lot of mental stimulation. And the moon will go void, of course, again in Sagittarius from 5:17 p.m. till 9:06 p.m. Again, the energy is flat and unproductive, good for resting, introspection, sticking to the course, not good for introducing any important new projects. 9:06 p.m. Pacific time, the moon goes into Capricorn, jump-starting the new work week as you go into Monday, where Sagittarius wants to be more playful, Capricorn wants to accomplish its goals, get more serious, more business-minded. Good energy to start the new work week. So, I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading, or check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.go, that's .co. Until next week, be safe and well.